Here is the question I get constantly: which AWS load balancer should I use? Most engineers default to application load balancer because it's the most popular, but here is the reality. If you are using ALB for high frequency trading application, you just added milliseconds of latency. Deal execution fails, money lost. If you are using NLB for microservices architecture with path based routing, you can't route by URL path. Your architecture doesn't work. Not using gateway load balancer for third party security appliances, you are routing traffic the hard way, and it's brittle. AWS gives you three load balancer for a reason. Each one solves different problems. Today we are breaking down ALB versus NLB versus GLB, when to use each, why it matters, and real world example that shows the consequences of choosing wrong load balancer. Hi, I'm Pratik Kumar Mohite, a cloud DevOps professional, and I built this channel for one reason: to help you think like a cloud native architect. Before we compare AWS load balancer, let's answer the fundamental questions. Why do load balancer exist? Imagine you are running an application on a single server. It handles 1000 requests per second perfectly. Then your app goes viral. Traffic spikes to 10,000 requests per second. What happens? Your single server crashes. Customer get errors, revenue stops. The solution? Add more servers. But now you have a problem. How do client know which servers to connect to? That's what load balancers solve. Traffic distribution, spread request across multiple servers, high availability. If one server fails, route traffic to healthy servers. Scalability, add, remove servers based on demand. Health monitoring, automatically detects and remove failed servers. Single entry point, client connects to one address, load balancer handle the rest. Load balancers are the foundation of scalable, resilient architecture. Let's now understand OSI model. Now here is why AWS has three different load balancer. They operate at different layers of OSI model. Let me show you how a real request flow through all seven layers of OSI model. Imagine you are shopping on Amazon and you click add to cart. Your request journey through the OSI model. Layer 7, which is the application layer, your browser creates post slash cart slash add HTTP request with JSON data which has product ID and quantity. This is where the actual application logic lives. HTTP, HTTPS, DNS, what you are trying to do. Layer 6 presentation layer. Your data gets encrypted using TLS SSL. Plain text JSON becomes encrypted gibberish. Handle encryption, compression, and data formatting so application can understand each other. Layer 5 session layer. Your connection session is maintained. If the page refreshes, your cart session stay alive. Manages session and connection between application. Keeps your login active. Layer 4 is the transport layer. TCP breaks your request into segments. Add source port 5544 and destination port 443. Reliable delivery with TCP or fast delivery with UDP. Ensures data gets there correctly. Layer 3 network layer. IP adds routing information from the IP 192.168.1.10 to Amazon servers 54.239.28.176, routes packets across network using IP addresses, finds the path from you to destination. Layer 2, data link layer. Ethernet add MAC addresses, your router's MAC address and the next hop's MAC address moves data between devices on the same network using physical addresses. Layer 1, which is the physical layer. Your request becomes electric signals traveling through your Wi Fi router and the fiber optics cables, the actual hardware, cables, Wi Fi signals, network card, transmitting the bits. The architecture insights. Higher layer, which is equals to more intelligence, slightly higher latency. Lower layer, less intelligence but lower latency. When you choose a load balancer, you are choosing how much the load balancer needs to understand about your traffic versus how fast it needs to be. Now you understand the OSI foundation. Let's see how AWS implements load balancer at different level. Application load balancer, which is ALB, operates at the application layer, which is the layer 7. It understands HTTP and HTTPS. It has path-based routing slash API to backends slash images to static content delivery network, host-based routing, api.example.com which will go to API servers and example.com which will go to the web servers. HTTP header inspection and routing. WebSockets and HTTP2 support, integrated with the AWS WAF for application security. Think of a ALB as your intelligent traffic detector. It reads the request, understands the content, and routes based on the application logic. Network load balancer, which is NLB, operates at the transport layer, which is layer 4. It only sees IP addresses, ports, and protocols. Ultra low latency, microseconds, not milliseconds, handles millions of requests per second. Static IP addresses, critical for whitelisting. Preserves source IP address, TCP and UDP protocol support. Think of a NLB as your high performance traffic switch. It doesn't inspect payload, it just forward packet blazingly fast. Gateway load balancer, which is GLB, operate at the network layer, which is the layer 3. It's designed for deploying, scaling, and managing third party virtual appliances. Transparent network gateway, integrated third party security appliances like firewalls, IDS, IPS. Scale security appliances horizontally, single entry and exit point for traffic inspection. Think of GLB as your security appliance orchestrator. It sits in the network path, routing traffic through the inspection appliances before reaching your application. The key differences are simple. ALB, which works on layer 7, understand the application protocol. NLB, which works at the layer 4, ultra fast packet forwarding. GLB, which works on layer 3, third party appliances integrated. Your use case determine which one you need. Let's start with the application load balancer. This is what most architects reach for first and for a good reason. So the question is when to use ALB. Microservices architecture with path-based routing, multi-tenant application with the host-based routing, modern web application HTTP, HTTPS traffic, applications needing SSL termination, WebSocket or HTTP2 support required, integration with AWS WAF for security. When not to use ALB, extreme low latency requirements, milliseconds matters, non-HTTP protocol, TCP, UDP, custom protocols, need for static IP addresses. Source IP preservation is critical. Let's take a real world example. E-commerce microservices platform. Imagine you are building an e-commerce platform with multiple microservices. The architecture would be shop.example.com/products, which will go to product service, which is deployed on EC2 autoscaling groups. Slash cart, which is a cart service, goes to different autoscaling group. Slash checkout, payment service, also a different autoscaling group. And slash API, which has the API gateway backend. Single ALB handles all this with listener rules. Rule 1, path slash products star, which is the product service target group. Cart star, which is the cart service target group. Checkout star for the payment service target group. And API star will be the API backend target group. Why ALB for this use case? Path based routing, single load balancer, multiple backend based on URL path. SSL termination, ALB handles HTTPS, backend uses HTTP. Simpler and faster. Health checks per service. Each target group has custom health points. Cost efficiency, one load balancer instead of four separate ones. And the AWS WAF integration, protect against SQL injection, XSS attacks at load balancer layer, which is why ALB dominates modern web architecture, application layer intelligence. Now, network load balancer. This is the performance based when latency and throughput matter more than the application logic. So, the question is when to use NLB. Ultra low latency requirement, microseconds. Extreme throughput, millions of requests per seconds. Static IP addresses needed, firewall whitelisting. Non HTTP protocol, TCP, UDP. Source IP preservation is critical. Long lived TCP connections, databases, and gaming. When not to use NLP, need path based routing or host based routing. SSL termination with HTTP inspection. AWS WAF integration required. Content based routing, HTTP header, query strings. Let's take an real world example. Real time financial trading platform. Imagine a high frequency trading platform where every milliseconds cost money. The architecture has trading algorithm server behind NLB. Market data feeds TCP streams from exchanges. Order execution endpoints requires sub milliseconds latency. Static IP required for exchange firewall whitelisting. Why NLB for this use case? Ultra low latency. NLB add around 100 microseconds. ALB adds 10 milliseconds. For trading, that's the difference between profit and loss. Static IP addresses, financial exchanges whitelisting specific IPs. NLB provides static IPs via elastic IP. ALB provides dynamic DNS, doesn't work for whitelisting. Source IP preservation. NLB preserve the client IP address. Trading system need this for the audit trail and compliance. ALB replaces source IP with its own. TCP protocol support. Market data feeds use custom TCP protocols, not HTTP. NLB handles any TCP UDP traffic. ALB only understands HTTP and HTTPS. Connection handling. Trading system maintain long-lived TCP connections. NLB handles it efficiently without connections overhead. Performance number. ALB's latency would be 5 to 10 milliseconds. NLB latency is 100 microseconds, 50 to 100 times faster. For a trading platform executing 10,000 order per seconds, those milliseconds matters. Now the specialist, gateway load balancer. This one confuses people because it's not really a load balancer in the traditional sense. It's a network gateway for third party appliances. So when to use GLB? Deploy third party security appliances, firewall, IDS, IPS, scale security appliances horizontally. Centralized network inspection point, deep packet inspection required, compliance required traffic inspection before reaching the apps. When not to use GLB, standard application traffic distribution. Use ALB or GLB. Don't need third party appliances. Application layer routing needed. Simple load balancing use case. Let's take an real world example. Enterprise security architecture with third party firewalls. Imagine a large enterprise running a AWS workload with strict security requirements. And the requirements are all traffic must pass through Palo Alto Networks next gen firewall. Firewall must inspect traffic for threats, malware, data exfiltration. Firewall must scale horizontally to handle the load. Single point of policy enforcement. The traditional approach before the GLB was to deploy a firewall instance manually, route tables pointing to firewall's IP, complex networking, brittle configuration, difficult to scale, no auto scaling. If firewall instance fail, traffic drops. How it works? Traffic enters the VPC via gateway load balancer endpoint in application subnet. Then GWLB forwards to GLB, which is gateway load balancer, which distribute the traffic across firewall appliances. Firewall application inspect traffic, threat detection, policy enforcement. Inspect traffic returns to GLB, which forwards back through the GWLB. Traffic reaches application after passing the security inspection. Why GLB for this use case? Transparent network gateway. Application don't know traffic is being inspected. No application changes required. Horizontal scaling. GLB distribute traffic across multiple firewall instances. Add or remove the firewall based on load. Auto scaling supported. High availability. GLB health checks firewall appliances. Failed appliances removed automatically. Traffic reroutes to the healthy appliances. Centralized enforcement. Single point where all traffic flows through the security policies. No way to bypass. Preserve traffic characteristics. GLB operates at layer 3, preserving IP addresses, ports, protocols. Firewall sees the original traffic. Why GLB is different? ALB or NLB distribute traffic to your application. GLB distribute traffic through security appliances for inspections. It's not about load distribution, it's about transparent, scalable security insertion. This is why GLB exists when you need third party appliances at scale. So let's make this actionable. Here is your decision framework as an architect. Use ALB when your primary decision criteria are HTTP, HTTPS, traffic, web application, APIs, microservices. Need path-based routing or host-based routing. SSL termination required. Modern web protocols, WebSocket or HTTP2. Integration with AWS WAF for security. Architecture patterns, microservices with path-based routing. Multi-tenant application with host-based routing. API gateway and container-based architecture, ECS or EKS. Use NLB when your primary decision criteria where performance is critical, latency in microseconds, extreme throughput required, millions of requests per seconds, non-HTTP protocol like TCP, UDP or any custom protocol, static IP addresses needed, whitelisting, source IP preservation required. The architectural patterns are of financial trading platforms, real-world gaming servers, IoT data ingestion, legacy TCP applications, long lived database connection. Use GLB when your primary decision criteria is third party security appliances required. All traffic must be inspected before reaching to your apps. Compliance mandates centralized security enforcement. Need to scale security appliances horizontally. The architectural patterns are enterprise security architecture with third party firewalls, IDS IPS deployment at scale, data loss prevention, which is DLP, and advanced threat protection. The architecture's quick check. Ask yourself three questions. What protocol? If it is HTTP, HTTPS, go to ALB. TCP, UDP, or any custom protocol, go to NLB. If it doesn't matter, just you have to have the inspection layer, go to GLB. What's the primary requirement? Application intelligence and routing, go to ALB. Performance and throughput, go NLB. Security appliance integration, go to GLB. What's the use case? Modern web services, microservices, go to ALB. Performance critical systems, go to NLB. Security inspection gateway, GLB. Can you combine them? Yes, it's a common pattern. Internet traffic will go to NLB, has a static IP, then it will go to ALB, where the application routing happens, and then we'll go to application. Why? NLB provides static IP for firewall whitelisting. ALB provides application layer routing logic. Best of both worlds. Another pattern will be internet traffic would go to GWLBE and GLB, security inspection, and then it will go to ALB for application routing, and then the traffic reaches to application. Why? GLB ensures all traffic is inspected by firewall. ALB handles the intelligence application routing, security plus intelligence. Choose based on requirement, not defaults. Here is what you now understand as an architect. The three load balancer. ALB works at layer 7 application intelligence, real world e-commerce microservices with path-based routing. Use WAN HTTP HTTPS routing logic SSL termination. NLB works at the layer 4 ultra high performance. Real world example would be financial trading platform. Microseconds matters. Use when latency critical, static IP and TCP UDP protocols. GLB, which works at layer 3, security appliance gateway. Real world example would be enterprise firewall deployment at scale. Use when third party inspection, compliance driven security. The decision framework. Ask three questions: what protocol, what is the primary requirement, and what is the use case. Answer those, and you know which load balancer to choose. Don't default to ALB just because it's popular. Each load balancer solves specific problems. Understand the problem first, then choose the AWS load balancer. Next video, we will see S3 deep dive, versioning lifecycle policies, cross region replication, and storage classes. We are moving from compute to storage architecture. What's your load balancer questions? ALB routing rules, NLB performance tuning, GLB implementation, or you want detailed video on each load balancer? Drop it in comments. If this video gave you understanding of AWS load balancer, subscribe to Cloud Native Labs. We release production focused deep dives every week. Now go architect the right load balancer strategy. This is Cloud Native Labs. Let's architect system that scale one service at a time. See you in the next one. Happy learning.